start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapatakamalам Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvidamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी निति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदम. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Haribo. So today we read the chapter 1.4, Principal Confession of Tamal Krishna, Srila Prabhupada's secretary and witness to the July 9th, 1977 order. Here is Srila Prabhupada and here is Tamal Krishna Goswami. One. On April 22nd, 1977, Tamal Krishna Goswami had this to say to Srila Prabhupada. Well, I have studied myself and all of your disciples, and it's clear fact that we are all conditioned souls, so we cannot be Guru. 2. On December 3rd, 1980, Tamal Krishna Goswami confessed it as follows. Actually, Prabhupada never appointed any gurus. He appointed 11 Ritviks. He never appointed them gurus. Myself and the other GBC have done the greatest disservice to this movement the last 3 years because we interpreted the appointment of Ritviks as the appointment of gurus. It is actually worth reading this entire confession, Appendix B, where he stresses the point that Srila Prabhupada never appointed any gurus. Yes, there is a video of this also. Oh, Chapter 2, Philosophical Evidence. Until now, we have looked at the documentary evidence from the legal documents and official audio transcriptions, whose veracity is beyond any doubt. Now we shall visit the principle of Guru Tattva from the philosophical or scriptural point of view to understand who can be a bona fide Guru, who cannot be so, and also to further solidify our understanding of Srila Prabhupada's instruction regarding initiations in ISKCON after 1977. 2.1. Definition of Diksha initiation. Diksha is a combination of two words, Di and Ksha. Di stands for Divya Jnanam, transcendental knowledge, and Ksa stands for Kshapayati, annihilates or eradicates sinful reactions. According to the two-word translation in Srimad Bhagavatam 4:2461 and Chaitanya Charitamrita Leela 3:62. Therefore, Diksha means the injunction of transcendental knowledge and the consequent annihilation of sinful reactions. The following verse points to this definition of the word Diksha. Divyam Jnanam Yato Dadyat Kuryat Papasya Sankshayam Tasmad Diksheti Sa sa prokta deshikaistattva kovidai. Diksha is the process by which one can awaken his transcendental knowledge and vanquish all reactions caused by sinful activity. A person expert in the study of revealed scriptures knows this process as Diksha. It's here. So it's not just the ceremony, it means transferring the knowledge. Srila Jiva Goswami's Bhakti Sandarbha 283, as quoted in the purport of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 15:108. Tadviti pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina yathaidamshi samidognir vamsasad kurute arjuna jnana jnanagni sarvakarmani bhashmasad kurute tatha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you. Because he has seen the truth, as the blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge burn to ashes all reactions to material activities. Bhagavad Gita 4:34, 4:37. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with torch of knowledge. Yes, everywhere the impartment of knowledge is emphasized. Introduction to Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chakshudan diloje janme janme prabhuse divya gyan hriday prokashito prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasha jate. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord birth after birth. From his ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. Shri Guru Vandana song of Narottama Das Thakur. So Diksha happens when transcendental knowledge is transmitted from the self-realized guru to disciple, and the disciple's sinful reactions and are thus completely annihilated. The name-giving ceremony is necessary formality, but that can be performed by other Ritviks, priests, on behalf of the guru. In ISKCON, all devotees receive transcendental knowledge from Srila Prabhupada's books. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada is the Diksha Guru for everyone. 2.2. Who can be a Diksha Guru? Okay, anyone can continue from this. Hare Krishna, Sora, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhu. Hare Krishna. There are two criteria for a person to become an initiating spiritual master: possessing the qualification of a first-class devotee, authorization by his spiritual master. Being a pure devotee is the preliminary qualification to become a guru, but that alone does not automatically mean that he becomes a Diksha Guru. He still needs the authorization of his guru to become a regular Diksha Guru. Of course, if one is authorized by his guru to become a guru, it is to be understood that he is already a pure devotee, because that is the preliminary qualification to become a guru. Let us now revisit the above criteria from the philosophical or scriptural viewpoint. For this, we refer to texts from the Vedic literature and the quotes of Srila Prabhupada. 2.2.1 Qualification of a Diksha Guru. A bona fide spiritual master is a pure first-class devotee. There are three classes of devotees, and the spiritual master should be a first-class devotee. The qualification of a first-class devotee are as follows. Sarva Bhudeshu Ya Pashed Bhagavad Bhavam Atmana Bhudani Bhagavadi Atmani Esha Bhagavadottama. The most advanced devotee sees within everything the soul of all souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Consequently, he sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord and understands that everything that exists is eternally situated within the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.45. Sarva Bhudastam Atmanam Sarva Bhudani Chatmani Ikshare Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshana. A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized man sees me everywhere. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6.29. As far as the development of faith is concerned, one who is well versed in the literature of devotional service and has attained the stage of firm faith is called a first class person in Krishna consciousness. And in the second class are those who are not very advanced in understanding the devotional scriptures, but who automatically have firm faith that Krishna Bhakti or service to Krishna is the best course and so in good faith have taken it up. Thus, they are superior to the third class who have neither perfect knowledge of the scriptures nor good faith but by association and simplicity are trying to follow. The third class person in Krishna consciousness may fall down, but when one is in the second class or first class, he does not fall down. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, 3, purport. A bona fide guru, being a first class devotee, never falls down from his devotional position to engage in non devotion or sinful or materialistic activity. न कर्म कर्म बीजानां यस्य चेदसि संभवा वासुदेवैक निलया स वै भागवतोत्तमा. One who has taken exclusive shelter of the Supreme Lord, Vasudeva, becomes free from fruitive activities which are based on material lust. In fact, one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord is freed from even the desire to enjoy material sense gratification. Plans for enjoying sex life, social prestige, and money cannot develop within his mind. Thus, he is considered Bhagavadottama, a pure devotee of the Lord on the highest platform. Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 11, 2.50. वाचो वेगं मनसा क्रोधवेगं जिह्वावेगं उदरोपस्थवेगं एतान् वेगान् यो विषाहेत धीरा सर्वाम् अभिमां पृथ्वीं स शिष्यात्. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demand, the action of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. Sri Upadeshamrita 1, Nectar of Instruction 1. Mahabhagavata Sreshto Brahmano Vai Guru Nranam. The Guru must be situated on the topmost platform of devotional service. There are three classes of devotees, and the Guru must be accepted from the topmost class. The first class devotee is the spiritual master for all kinds of people. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 24.330. Purport. Quoted from Padma Purana. When one has attained the topmost position of Mahabhagavata, he is to be accepted as a guru and worshipped exactly like Hari, the personality of Godhead. Only such a person is eligible to occupy the post of a guru. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 24.330. Purport. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given some practical hints to the effect that an Uttama Adhikari, Vaishnava, can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls to Vaishnavism. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttama Adhikari. A neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples, but such disciples must be on the same platform, and it should be understood that they cannot advance very well toward the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttama Adhikari as a spiritual master. Nectar of Instruction 5. Purport.
Hare Krishna, Drona Prabhu Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Okay, who wants to read next?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Although the spiritual master should be the first class devotee, it is not that the every first class devotee automatically becomes a spiritual master. He still needs to meet the second criticism authorization. There are many examples throughout the Vedic history of pure devotees who did not become spiritual masters. So pure devotee is not synonymously with a spiritual master, but a bona fide spiritual master should be a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. On the whole, you may know that he is not a liberated person, and therefore he cannot intimate any person to Krishna consciousness. It requires special spiritual beneficiation from higher authorities. Srila Prabhupada letter to the Janardhan, April 26, 1968. One should take invitation from a bona fide spiritual master coming in the disciplined succession who is authorized by the producer spiritual masters. This is called Diksha Vidhanam. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.8 15 per bit. Indian man. Why did you why did you begin to become the spiritual leader of Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada. When my Guru Maharaj ordered me, this is my Guru Parampara, Indian man. Did he just, Prabhupada, try to understand. Do not go very speedily. A guru can become a guru when he ordered by his guru. That's all. Otherwise, nobody can become guru. Q&A section of Srila Prabhupada lecture on Bhagavad Gita 10.2 on October 28, 1975 in Nilaburi, Khene. The Rutvik, the Rutvik, the Rutvik system FAQ 2.3. Jai Srila Prabhupada. In this chapter, we shall address some of the frequently asked questions and doubts that devotees usually have regarding the Ritvik system of inten- intentions and the Parampara system in general. Srila Prabhupada Ritvik system of meditations throughout the convention is perfectly in line with spiritual conclusions and discipline traditions. All the evidence presented here in is thoroughly based on such spiritual evidences. Should the Diksha Guru be 2.3.1? Should the Diksha Guru be physically alive in order to accept disciplines? Sometimes the contention is offered that with no successor to the Srila Prabhupada, the parampara or the discipline succession is being forcibly stopped by the followers of Ratik, Ratik system. So they say that there has to be somebody living in order to keep the succession unbroken and continuous. Moreover, they feel that one cannot get the personal guidance from the book as it is possible by physical pre- pre- presence. Does a guru require to be physically present on the planet to abstract discipline or to disseminate transcendental knowledge? We shall now address these questions from the quotes of the Srila Prabhupada and from spiritual references to gain proper perspective. Madh, Madhuvidasa. Is there is any way of Christian to without the help of spiritual master to reach the spiritual sky throughout delivering in the words of Jesus Christ and trying to follow his teaching? Srila Prabhupada, I don't know. Kamala Krishna. Can a Christian in this age without a spiritual master by reading the Bible and following Jesus' words reach? Srila Prabhupada. When you read Bible, you follow spiritual master. How can you say without? As soon as you read Bible, that means you are following the instruction of Lord Jesus Christ. That means you are following the spiritual master. So where is the opportunity of being without spiritual master? Mother, I was referring to living a spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada. So spiritual master is not a question of spiritual master is eternal. Spiritual master is eternal. So your questions without spiritual master, you cannot be any stage of your life. You may accept the spiritual master or the spiritual master or the spiritual master. That is different thing. But you have to accept. As you say that by reading Bible, when you read Bible, that means you are following the spiritual master represented by the some priest or some Kiroga man in the line of Jesus Christ. Srila Prabhupada Morning Walk, October 2nd, Seattle. Devotee, Srila Prabhupada. When you are not at the present with us, how it is possible to receive instructions? For example, no questions that may arise. Srila Prabhupada. Well, that questions answers are there in my book. Srila Prabhupada Morning Walk, May 13, 1973, Los Angeles, USA. A recent Hill who tells that Vaishnava dies. Went through art living still in sound. Srila Prabhupada Thakur. Krishna and his representatives is the same. Just like Krishna can be present simultaneously in the million of places. Similarly, the spiritual masters also can be present wherever the disciplines wherever the disciplines was. The spiritual master is the principle, not the body. Just like television can be seen in the thousands of places by the principle of relaying monitoring. Srila Prabhupada letter to the Malayalam in May 28, 1916. There are many other questions of Srila Prabhupada to affect, but the point here is very clear. It is not necessary for the body of spiritual master to be physically present to disseminate knowledge, especially when his books are doing the job. One way to argue my quoting the following expert but from a lecture of the Srila Prabhupada. It is not like that. If I like, I can go to Guru. If I don't like, I can learn the books at the home and learn everything. No, this is not possible. That is not possible. Practically, just like if you are purchase some medical books and study at home, and if you begin to practice, you call like you will not recognize it by the government. You will not get the practitioner registration. You will not. Unless you have to pass throughout the medical college or medical examinations, you will not be the accepted. If you say that I have read all the books, similarly, if you have simple thing that I have read has been generally, oh, I have read Bhagavad Gita 100 times. But you ask him what is Krishna, he can't say because he has not approached the Acharya. This is the difficult. He may he might have read the Bhagavad Gita 1,000 times, but he will not understand a single word because he is not approached. Srila Prabhupada lecture on Bhagavad Gita, Bombay, so 13.8, 12, Bombay, India. In this lecture, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning the case in which people read Bhagavad Gita without guidance of Guru. But in the case of Bhagavad Gita, as it is Srila Prabhupada purport, as there are a guidance as is the proper length of understanding. We may refer to the conversation cited earlier in this chapter regarding the regarding reading the Bible. Once a person is reading Bible, he is following the Jesus Christ. Similarly, once a person is reading Bhagavad Gita as it is, he is understanding the approach the Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. Furthermore, even when Srila Prabhupada was physically around, he did not personally intimate any of his disciplines directly, and neither did they get the much personal association. If any, with the person, if any, with Srila Prabhupada set up the system of management in such a way that devotees involved in the temple management and the GBCR is represented, acting as the Shiksha Gurus, interesting the other junior devotees as Srila Prabhupada teaching. They would have also conducted Buddhism basis on their very simple ethic system, which is now under contention. All of the junior devotees would have become the Srila Prabhupada disciplines, and they would have associated with him by reading his books. One may then ask, does Ritvika system not simply end of your parapara since there would be no one will continue to offer Srila Prabhupada? Evam parapara paramatam नियम राजेशम विधिम एक कैलनेह महतो योहो नशत परतपा एवं thus parampara discipline succession paratam received evam this science Rajesham the saintly king with whom understands that knowledge Kellen in the course of time even in this world my Mahat, Mahata by great Yoga, the science of one's relationship with Supreme Natasha, created Paramatma Arjuna Sudar of the enemies. The supreme science was thus received throughout the chain of discipline succession, and they silently understood it in that way. But in the course of time, the succession was broken. Therefore, it is a science of since it is appearance to be lost. Bhagavad Gita's 4.2. Hare Krishna, everyone can continue. From this verse, we can only clearly understand that parampara or a dispensation is considered broken when the science of one's relation with the Supreme is lost. The exact words used here is yoga natasha, which means the science began lost. It is not mentioned as Tarisha natasha or the body of the Guru being lost. So the parampara is considered broken when the science of bhakti, yoga is lost, not when the body of the spiritual master is lost. In the context of ISKCON, the books of Srila Prabhupada are very much there, and thousands of people are becoming devotees by reading these books. So the science of devotional service is not lost. Therefore, parampara is not broken. There are not ordinary books. It recorded chanting. Anyone who reads is hearing. Srila Prabhupada letter to Rupananga Das, October 1940. The potency of the transcendental sound is very minimized because the vibrator is apparently absent. Srimad Bhagavatam 19.9 2.9.8 perfect. When we feel separation from Krishna or the spiritual master, we should just try to remember the words of instructions, and we will no longer feel that separation. Thus, associated with Krishna and spiritual master should be associated by the vibration, not physical preference. That is real association. We put so much stress on saying, when we when Krishna was present on this earth, so many people saw him and did not recognize that he is a god. So what is the advantage of saying? By saying Krishna, you will not understand him. By listening carefully to his teaching, we can come to the platform of understanding. We can touch Krishna immediately by the sound of vibration. Therefore, we should give more stress to the sound of vibration of Krishna and of the spiritual master. Then we will feel happy and won't feel separation. expert from the book Elevation to Krishna Consciousness, page 57 to 58. All these quotes points to the fact that by reading Srila Prabhupada books, we can directly irritated by him by receiving the transcendental knowledge. How can we sure that Srila Prabhupada is pleased with our service since he is not physically reciprocated? The answer is that if the spiritual master is pleased, then the Supreme Personality is pleased, Supreme Lord is pleased. Yoga Prasad Bhagavata Prasad. And the once Lord is pleased, he will bestow the discipline with the genuine spiritual advancements. Bhakti Parabhava Vikata Bhakti Pravesha Anubrava Virat Virakatra Anayatra Prabhu. I don't know this reading. Can you read this one?
This verse?
Yes, Prabhu.
Bhakti pareshanu bhavo viraktir anyatra chaisha trika eka kala prapadya manasya yathanasta suyus tushti pushtik shud apayo nugasam.
Devotion, direct experience of the Supreme Lord, and the detachment from the other things. Those three occur simultaneously from one who has taken the shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the same way that pressure, nourishment, and the relief from the hunger come continuously and increasingly with each bite. For each person engaged in eating. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2, 11.2.42. Genuinely spiritual advancement means those three things if the one progressively feels genuine unmotivated devotion as direct realizations of the Supreme Lord and especially feels progressive detachment from thankful life. It is to be understood that Srila Prabhupada is pleased. Srila Prabhupada further explains this point. The spiritual master is Christianly is very merciful to his disciplines and consistently by satisfying devotees get strength from the Supreme Personality of God. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Ladha Bhaja. One must one must first please the spiritual master and then one automatically pleases Krishna and gets to work the strength with which he crosses the ocean of incense. If one sincerely desires to return home back to Godhead, one must therefore become the strong enough by pleasing the spiritual master. For thus one gets the weapon with which to conquer the enemy, and no one also gets the grace of one also gets the grace of Krishna. Simply getting the weapon of ninja is insufficient. One must serve the weapon by serving the spiritual master and adhering to his instructions. Then the candidate will get the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.1545. Anyone, Hare Krishna, anyone can continue.
Ribol.
Haribol.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for reading. Okay, 2.3.2. Can we take instructions from predecessor acharyas? A question may be raised thus. If we can associate and take initiation from an acharya just by reading his books, then why can't we jump the disciplic succession and take instruction directly from, say, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur or even Srila Rupa Goswami or any predecessor acharya higher up in the disciplic succession? The answer is given in the following quote by Srila Prabhupada. Yes, the ISKCON persons, they always say that, oh, then if you can take from Prabhupada, then why don't you go directly to Krishna? Just serve Krishna directly. In order to receive the real message of Srimad Bhagavatam, one should approach the current link. So here Prabhupada answers them, their arguments. One should always approach the current link or spiritual master in the chain of disciplic succession. After being initiated by the proper spiritual master in that chain of succession, one should engage himself in the discharge of tapasya in the execution of devotional service. Bhagavatam 2.9.7 purport. The current link in the disciplic succession is that spiritual master who is actively disseminating the transcendental disciplic conclusion to the public at large. Srila Prabhupada is doing that by way of his books. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada is the authorized Diksha Guru of ISKCON. Yes, I think this is why also the ISKCON Gurus are trying to imitate Prabhupada by making their own books. But those books are not making anyone Krishna consciousness. Those are just useless rubbish. 233. Is Srila Prabhupada breaking the disciplic tradition? There is a concussion offered that Srila Prabhupada came into this world to present the authorized disciplic conclusion of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, but never before was a Ritvik system of initiation set up by any predecessor Acharya in our Sampradaya. How can Srila Prabhupada do something that is against the tradition of our Sampradaya? Therefore, they say that the Ritvik system, particularly after his manifest presence, is not authorized by Srila Prabhupada, as he would never do anything that is against the disciplic tradition. Now it is prudent to note that the tradition of disciplic succession is to preach pure Krishna consciousness to the conditioned souls. How a particular spiritual master does it is as per the time, place, and circumstances that he is in is a transcendental technical detail that may vary from one spiritual master to another, but the principle of preaching Krishna consciousness remains intact. The spreading of Krishna consciousness constitutes this disciplic tradition, not the nitty-gritty. As a matter of fact, Srila Prabhupada made many adjustments according to time, place, and circumstance. Among many other examples, a prominent one was that he ordered all his disciples to chant 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra daily on the beads. But the actual standard of daily prescription of chanting is 64 rounds a day. In fact, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada, went on record saying that if one chants less than 64 rounds a day, he is not even considered to be a human being. But Srila Prabhupada observed that the modern candidate is unfit to chant 16 rounds, and therefore he gave us 16 rounds per day stipulation. Yes. Also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that he won't go to a place where someone doesn't chant his 64 rounds. In the following translation and purport, just imagine, often we can't maybe finish even this one. If Prabhupada didn't come, we would have no chance. Who can every day chant 64 rounds? I don't know many, but or seniors, of course, that's different. But of someone who joins newly, who can chant 64 rounds? I don't know. Swayam Samutirya Surustaram Dyuman Bavarnavam Bimam Adabra Sautradaha Bhavat Badam Boruha Navamatrate Nidaya Yata Sadanugraho Bhavan. O Lord, who resemble the shining sun, you are always ready to fulfill the desire of your devotee, and therefore you are known as a desire tree, Vancha Kalpataru. When acharyas completely take shelter under your lotus feet in order to cross the fierce ocean of nescience, they leave behind on earth the method by which they cross, and because they are very merciful to your other devotees, you accept this method to help them. You see? Acharyas leave these different methods of crossing. They themselves show example by doing the method, and then they leave the method. They don't take the method away. You know, when normally you have a boat and you cross the river, you go to the other side of the river, the boat stays there and the way is cut because the boat doesn't go back to the other side of the river by itself. But the spiritual master is so merciful that he leaves it's like a bridge. It's not a boat anymore because the method is still there. He doesn't take the method away. So merciful. And Krishna accepts the method, whatever they leave. So if Prabhupada says 16 rounds, Krishna accepts that method because he has taken complete shelter under lotus feet of Krishna. So that's why Krishna accepts the method that they leave. Bhagavatam 10:2-31. In our Krishna consciousness movement, the devotees have been advised to refrain from 4 sinful activities, illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling, and to chant 16 rounds a day. These are bona fide instructions. The Acharya gives the suitable method for crossing the ocean of nescience by accepting the boat of the Lord's lotus feet. And if this method is strictly followed, the followers will ultimately reach the destination by the grace of the Lord. This method is called Acharya Sampradaya. It is therefore said, Sampradaya Vihina Ye Mantraste Nishpala Mataha, Padma Purana. The Acharya Sampradaya is strictly bona fide. Therefore, one must accept the Acharya Sampradaya, otherwise one's endeavor will be futile. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:2-31 purport. Yes, so one has to get the instruction through the Acharya Sampradaya. It doesn't mean that he jumps and he starts to read Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's books and say that, oh, here it's 64 rounds, so everyone I must do. And he must follow the Sampradaya, and the current link is Srila Prabhupada. So whatever Prabhupada says, that is the thing. The stipulation of 16 rounds a day is certainly unconventional, but Srila Prabhupada mentions in this purport about that it is a strictly bona fide instruction. This is the transcendental authority of the Acharya to preach according to the time, place, and circumstance. The principle of Krishna consciousness is not compromised, but the minor technical details are adjusted by the Acharya, Acharya Sampradaya, to suit the particular situation. So if the unconventional 16 rounds a day stipulation is bona fide, then why not the unconventional Ritvik system? Yes, here is according to time, place, and circumstance. So it is the transcendental authority of the Acharya. So not any person can say that, oh, this is this. Now in ISKCON, we are getting female gurus because time, place, and circumstance. They are not transcendental acharyas, so they cannot give transcendental authority. So their time, place, and circumstance orders have no value because they are not in the Acharya Sampradaya. If one is not ready to accept the Ritvik system of initiations because it is unconventional, then one should also not accept the 16 rounds regulation. One may go on and chant 64 rounds as was the original prescription by predecessor acharyas, but that is practically not possible in today's context. So the only bona fide and practical process is to follow Srila Prabhupada's prescription of 16 rounds, and hence his Ritvik system of initiation also. 2, 3, 4. Yes, so this is amazing point that if they say that Prabhupada, when he made this Ritvik system, that it has never done before also, and we don't accept it, they say. So then also when Prabhupada said 16 rounds, that's also was not done, so they should be doing 64 then. 2, 3, 4. But Srila Prabhupada said like this before. Srila Prabhupada may have seemingly encouraged his disciples many times previously to become gurus in the future after his physical departure and initiate devotees on their own, thus continuing the chain of disciplic succession. Why then would he later introduce the Ritvik system of initiations and stop the disciplic chain with him being the last in the succession? It is prudent to remember that the disciplic succession means the disciplic conclusion, or the science of devotional service to the personality of Godhead, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.2. Yes, so once again, it is told that the disciplic succession means that the transcendental knowledge is moving forward from one person to another, and that is being injected like forwards. It doesn't mean that the physical person gives Diksha to another physical person and then tells that now you become Diksha Guru. That's not the proper way of continuing the parampara. Parampara and Diksha, giving Diksha means transferring the knowledge. So as long as the knowledge is moving and getting transferred, then it means that Prabhupada is still here instructing the knowledge, because it is not lost. Only when the transcendental knowledge is lost, as said in Bhagavad Gita 4.2, only then it is like instructed again by Krishna, just like he did to Arjuna. But if the transcendental knowledge is not lost, then there is no reason to instruct it to another person or make another Diksha Guru. As long as Srila Prabhupada's books are spreading the message of Krishna consciousness, the disciplic succession is not considered broken. Yes, and they in ISKCON they say, why you are breaking the disciplic succession. They don't even know what Diksha means. So that's the problem, because they don't read the books. Nevertheless, we shall study the open order of everyone to become Guru, which was also issued by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just yesterday, we had like long arguments with one Finnish devotee who was saying just like this, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told everyone to become Guru. So he said that was when Srila Prabhupada repeated that was the order to everyone to become Diksha Guru. But he didn't understand that Guru also means Siksha Guru, and there is no difference between Diksha Guru and Siksha Guru. So he didn't understand that. And we tried to explain to him with all the references and everything, but still somehow he didn't want to accept it. He just kept saying his own thing. The instruction for everyone to become Guru is found in the following verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which was often quoted by Srila Prabhupada. Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh, amara agnaya guruhana tara e desh. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Sri Krishna as they are given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land. So they say this is an order for everyone to become a spiritual master. Chaitanya, and especially they say Diksha Guru, not just spiritual master. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 7:1-8. However, the type of Guru which Lord Chaitanya is encouraging everyone to become is clearly established in the detailed purports following this verse. That is, one should stay at home, chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and preach the instruction of Krishna as they are given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, he's not saying that one should become Diksha Guru and start initiating as much as devotees as possible on his own name. One may remain a householder, a medical practitioner, an engineer, or whatever. It doesn't matter. One only has to follow the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and instruct relatives and friends in the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. It is best not to accept any disciples. See this. Yes, so how can they say that this is an order to become Diksha Guru and become a initiating spiritual master and start to make as many devotees as possible? As if you see Jayapadaka Swami, he's on his way. His goal is to try to get 100,000 initiated disciples before he departs. And here it is said, it is best to not accept any disciples. So they wonder why his health is, and then they say that, oh, please pray for Guru Maharaj. But what is that praying for? Like, if he increases his life duration, the persons pray for him, and somehow he gets longer life, but he's just making more and more offenses and sinful activities by making this offense. So the more he lives, the worse his condition is getting. So actually, by praying like this to make his health better, so he can initiate more persons whimsically, that just increases his suffering. So they don't understand that. We can see that these instructions do not demand that the gurus in question first attain any particular level of realization before they act. The request is immediate. From this, it is clear that everyone is simply encouraged to preach what they may know, and in doing so become Shiksha or instruction gurus. This is further clarified by the stipulation for the Shiksha Guru to remain in that position and not to then go to become a Diksha Guru. Yeah, this ending is pretty impactful when it is directly said at the end. It is best to not accept any disciples. Hare Krishna, Dimitri Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhu. It is best to not accept any disciples. To accept disciples is the main business of a Diksha Guru, whereas a Siksha Guru simply needs to carry on his duties in assisting the Diksha Guru and preach Krishna consciousness as best as he can. It is clear from Srila Prabhupada's purports that in the above verse, Lord Chaitanya is actually authorizing Siksha Gurus, not Diksha Gurus. And the ISKCON person was arguing that, no, why? How can you speculate like this? Because Lord Chaitanya didn't specify it that it is Diksha Gurus. So you cannot speculate. So it can also mean Diksha Guru. He was saying like this. But if Prabhupada said that it is best to not accept any disciples, so what kind of Diksha Guru is one who doesn't accept any disciples? That would be weird. Yeah, here it said, to accept disciples is the main business of Diksha Guru. So what kind of Diksha Guru they become? That Prabhupada says, it's best to not accept disciples, but at the same time, they want to be a person whose business is to accept disciples. That's really contradicting position. Even though Srila Prabhupada did mention many times earlier on to encourage everyone to go on to become Diksha Gurus, his order in the July 9th, 1977 should supersede all of his previous statements. The following Q&A session clears up this matter. Achyutananda, reading question put by audience. Sri Krishna says in the end of Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharmam Parityagya, Bhagavad Gita 1866. But in another place in the Bhagavad Gita, twice it is mentioned, Shreyan Svadharmo Paradharmo Bhayavaha, Bhagavad Gita 3:35. One should perform his own duty rather than another's duty. Prabhupada, yes. Achyutananda, how can we? Prabhupada, I may say many things to you, but when I say something directly, do it. Your first duty is to do that. You cannot argue, sir, you said me like this before. No, that is not your duty. What I say now, you do it. That is obedience. You cannot argue. Of course, Krishna never said anything contradictory, but if when one thinks foolishly that Krishna has said something contradictory, no, that is not to be. You could not understand. So even though you could not understand, you take my direct orders now. Sarvadharmam Parityagya Mamekam. Bhagavad Gita 1866. That is your business. Yes, so always the last order that is being given, especially when it's direct order, that should be always taken. Not that we say that, oh, in some lecture you told to some person like this. That doesn't supersede the direct order. Whenever spiritual master says do like this, whatever he has said previously, that is cancelled. Then one just has to do what he says now. Prabhupada's lecture 553, April 15th, 1975, Hyderabad. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says so many instructions to Arjuna. He spoke of all types of yoga, from dhyana to jnana, but all this was superseded by his final instruction. Yes, this also, that in Bhagavad Gita it went like this. And sometimes the persons say that, oh, Krishna instructed karma yoga in Bhagavad Gita, so that is then if I choose that's the supreme for me, then I need to do it. But it doesn't mean that it's the supreme process of yoga, just because Krishna instructed it. They always forget when Krishna says this, 1866, because I think they don't read the Bhagavad Gita until end. They read when there is the chapter about karma yoga, jnana yoga, then they stop there and they think, oh, this is the whole Gita. Now I can go choose my own yoga path and try become perfect like this. Krishna said it, they say. But they don't remember that at the end, Krishna says, abandon all these. Sarvadharmam parityagya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshaishyami ma suchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver from all reaction. Do not fear. Yes, after this, all the friendly talks that was had with Arjuna, they don't have any value. They are not like orders anymore, or they wasn't orders. They were just like advices how to act, in how a certain person acts, who is at certain stage acts like in certain way. But after this, all those ways should be abandoned and just surrendered to Krishna. You just give up everything and become my devotee, my worshipper, should be taken as the final order of the Lord, and one should follow that principle. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter 11. Even the final instruction given by Sripad Shankaracharya in his song Bhaja Govindam was also meant to supersede all his previous Mayavadi or impersonal instructions. Yes, always also when we give this Bhaja Govindam to them, they say, but Shankaracharya said also like this, and he said also like this. So, but they don't understand that nothing that he says cannot be contradicting. So if he says something that cancels the thing that he said previously, then that should always be taken. Sripada Shankaracharya clearly advises right in the beginning of his song that all his previous deliberate Mayavadi misinterpretations of the Vedic text by elaborate study of grammatical arrangements is useless to help anyone at the end of life. He advises everyone to forget such nonsense and just worship Govinda in devotional service if one at all wants real benefit. Yeah, this is a nice bhajan. The point is that to execute the final instructions is the immediate duty of the disciple. Yes, final instructions. Not to argue about previous instructions that may seem contradictory. The final instruction supersedes all previous instructions. Therefore, the July 9th letter, directive, and the declaration of will of Srila Prabhupada should be taken as his final instructions in this connection and should not be argued upon. Yeah, this is what the most thing that I found astonishing, that with some little, they listen some little conversation clips, and with that they try to cancel everything that Prabhupada had said, but they don't understand that, they don't even think that why did Prabhupada order this, something like this or something. They just directly cancel it. I'm always thinking, how can any devotee, when he sees so clearly that this order is given here, it has been signed, how they can just delete it in their mind suddenly, that it maybe was some mistake or something like this, they think. All these points to again to the same thing. Srila Prabhupada is the authorized Diksha Guru of ISKCON for as long as his books are intact. Yes, at the beginning I was really surprised. I was thinking that anyone in ISKCON who sees these documents and these, I was thinking how they can. I was really astonished. If they read this, it's so clear how they can. But later I realized that usually their head got so confused. It's literally the same thing that someone really makes you believe that 1 + 2 is 4. He really makes you believe that. And when another person who has been taught that 1 + 2 is 3, he sees that, then he's so confused that how this person cannot understand that you have 2 fingers and you add 1 finger to that, it becomes 3 fingers. So how they can see it? But it is like that when someone is properly being over and over again being taught wrong, then they cannot so easily change their opinion, and then they have to become humble, because they have to admit that, oh, I was so fooled that I was cheated in this way. But usually they don't want to admit this, so they rather fall down with their false thoughts and false impressions. Okay, who wants to continue from this?
Right. 2.3.5 is Srila Prabhupada the Shiksha or Diksha Guru of ISKCON. Another contention is that since Srila Prabhupada is giving us the teachings through his books, he is the Shiksha Guru, while the Diksha Guru is the one who gives the spiritual name. But as we have already witnessed in the section above regarding the definition of Diksha, Diksha means the imparting of transcendental knowledge by the spiritual master. The giving of the name and chanting on the beads is only a formality that other devotees can do on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, as he instructed in the July 9, 1977 letter or directive. It is only a technical detail of the initiation process, but real initiation is the transmission of transcendental knowledge. The following quotes by Srila Prabhupada clarify this matter. A devotee must have only one initiating spiritual master, because in the scriptures, acceptance of more than one is always forbidden. There is no limit, however, to the number of instructing spiritual masters one may accept. Generally, a spiritual master who constantly instructs a disciple in spiritual science becomes his initiating spiritual master later on. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 1.35 purport. The Guru who is constantly instructing everyone through his books is Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, he is the Diksha Guru and the rest are Shiksha Gurus. In addition, we also learn from this quote that one should have only one Diksha Guru. That means the re-initiation are going on in ISKCON are completely unauthorized. The GBC should all be the instructor gurus. I am in the initiator guru, and you should be the instructor guru by teaching what I am teaching and doing what I am doing. Srila Prabhupada's letter to Madhudrisha, August 4, 1975, Detroit, USA. Sometimes a Diksha Guru is not present always. Therefore, one can take learning, instruction from an advanced devotee. That is called the Shiksha Guru. Srila Prabhupada's lecture on Bhagavad Gita, 17.1 to 3, July 4th, 1974. Incorrect date. Fidelity check pending. Honolulu, Hawaii. Srila Prabhupada. The Diksha Guru gives the standard transcendental knowledge, and the Shiksha Guru is anyone who guides other devotees and people in general according to the teachings of the Diksha Guru. Srila Prabhupada is the initiator Guru of Diksha Guru, and his responsible disciples should become the instructor Gurus, Shiksha Gurus. Chapter 3 Shastric Study of Deviations. Despite crystal clear instructions by Srila Prabhupada regarding the continuation of his position as the Diksha Guru of ISKCON, even after his physical departure, so much deviation has ensued after his physical departure. Even to this day, the deviants may justify their stand in this way or that. But with each passing day, their stand is becoming weaker and weaker as news of the official and unofficial downfalls of the deviants are revealed. An authorized or empowered Acharya never falls down, but one who is not authorized will fall down. The spiritual master must never be carried away by an accumulation of wealth or a large number of followers. A bona fide spiritual master will never become like that. But sometimes, if a spiritual master is not properly authorized and only on his own initiative become a spiritual master, he may be carried away by an accumulation of wealth and large number of disciples. This is not a very high grade of devotional service. If a person is carried away by such achievements, then his devotional service becomes slackened. One should therefore strictly adhere to the principle of disciplic succession. Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 14, Devotional Qualifications. We have studied the qualifications of a Diksha Guru in a previous chapter, 2.2.1. In this chapter, we shall visit the Shastric references which point out why deviations take place, the position of deviants, the results of following deviants, how to rectify the situation, and how to deal with the truthful, sincere devotees and the envious ones. 3.1 Causes of deviation. Firstly, where do deviations take place in general? The main business of human society is to think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead at all times, to become his devotees, to worship the Supreme Lord, and to bow down before him. The Acharya, the authorized representative of the Supreme Lord, establishes these principles, but when he disappears, things once again become disordered. The perfect disciples of the Acharya try to relieve the situation by sincerely following the instructions of the spiritual master. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.28.48 purport. When the Acharya is physically present, he can forcefully correct a wayward disciple and set things back in order. Srila Prabhupada did this on countless occasions, but when the Acharya leaves, the onus of conducting his mission solely rests upon his disciples. Their sincerity plays the biggest role. If a disciple deliberately disobeys the instructions of the Diksha Guru, and if there are no competent senior Shiksha Gurus to rectify the situation, then chaos reigns. This is what happened to Srila Prabhupada's movement. At first, all the followers of Advaita Acharya shared a single opinion, but later they followed two different opinions as ordained by Providence. Some of the disciples strictly accepted the orders of the Acharya, and the others deviated, independently concocting their own opinions under the spell of Devi Maya. The order of the spiritual master is the active principle in spiritual life. Anyone who disobeys the order of the spiritual master immediately becomes useless. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 3.8 to 10. This verse describes the beginning of a Sikhism. When disciples do not stick to the principle of accepting the order of their spiritual master, immediately there are two opinions. Any opinion different from the opinion of the spiritual master is useless. One cannot infiltrate materially concocted ideas into spiritual advancement. That is a deviation. There is no scope for adjusting spiritual advancement to material ideas. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila 12.9, purport. Such disagreement among the disciples of one Acharya is also found among the members of the Gaudiya Mada. In the beginning, during the presence of Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtottara Shada Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura Prabhada, all the disciples worked in agreement, but just after his disappearance, they disagreed. One partly strictly followed the instruction of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, but another group created their own concoction about executing his desires, and they split into two factions over who the next Acharya would be. Consequently, both factions were asara or useless because they had no authority, having disobeyed the order of the spiritual master. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila 12.8 purport. Persons who deviate from the strict order of the spiritual master are useless. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila 12.10 purport. The psychology that leads to deviation is clearly explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita as follows. Nishiddha Nishiddhachara Sudhinayadi Jiva Himsana Labha Puja Pradishtadi Yada Upasaga Gana. Some unnecessary creepers growing with the Bhakti creeper are the creepers of behavior unacceptable for those trying to attain perfection, diplomatic behavior, animal killing, mundane profiteering, mundane adoration, and mundane importance. All these are unwanted creepers. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhyalila 19.159. I can definitely say for myself, and for which I humbly beg forgiveness from everybody, that there was definitely some degree of trying to control. This is the conditioned nature, and it came out in the highest position of all. Guru, oh wonderful! Now I am a Guru, and there is only 11 of us. Tamala Krishna's Confession, December 3, 1980. When a progressing devotee acquires these unwanted desires that are separate from the desire of the Acharya and the Supreme Lord, he is said to be a separatist. Such a person commits the greatest offense of disobeying the order of the spiritual master. His devotional service is understood to be mixed with the modes of passion and ignorance. He thus becomes envious of the Acharya and desires fame and adoration. अभिसन्धाय यो हिंसां दम्भामात्सर्यमेव वा संरम्भी भिन्न दृग्भावं मयि कुर्यात् स तामसा. Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, and who is a separatist is considered to be in the mode of darkness. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29.8. विषयान् अभिसन्धाय यशा ऐश्वर्यम् एव वा अर्चादा अर्चयेद्यो मां पृथक् भाव स राजसा. The worship of deities in the temple by separatists with a motive for material enjoyment, fame, and opulence is devotion in the mode of passion. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29.9. Such a devotee is considered a third-class devotee. Archayam eva hare pujam ya shraddhaye hade na tad bhakteshu chanyeshu sa bhakta pravrita sprada. A devotee who faithfully engages in the worship of the deity in the temple but does not behave properly towards other devotees or people in general is called a Pravrita Bhakta, a materialist devotee, and is considered to be in the lowest position, third class. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.47. Tadoarchayam Harim Kechit Samshraddhaya Saparyaya Ubasada Ubastavi Narthada Purishad Visham. Sometimes a neophyte devotee offers all the paraphernalia for worshipping the Lord, and he factually worships the Lord as the deity. But because he is envious of the other authorized devotee of Lord Vishnu, the Lord is never satisfied with its devotional service. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.14.40. As long as one keeps oneself in the third class platform, one will fall down. The third class person in Krishna consciousness may fall down, but when one is in the second class or first class, he does not fall down. Bhagavad Gita chapter 9.3, purport. As long as one does not follow the strict prescription of sadhana given to us by Srila Prabhupada, chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 regulative principles, waking up for Mangalarati, and participating in the entire morning program until the Srimad Bhagavatam class, and later on engaging in various other services, reading Srila Prabhupada's books daily, one is sure to remain in the third class position. And as long as one is in the third class position, he is bound to cause problems to other devotees because of his imperfect conduct. The problem in ISKCON is that the senior most devotees have proven themselves to be third class by falling down. And if such people head the movement in the garb of gurus, what will be the result? Utter chaos. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Ram, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Okay, Prabhu, you can read this one.
Okay, Prabhu. The position of deviants and their followers. Undoubtedly, Maya is very strong. Therefore, sometimes a sannyasi may also fall down. But a bona fide spiritual master can never fall down. It is important to remember again that a bona fide spiritual master is both qualified and authorized by his spiritual master. In ISKCON history since 1977, there have been scores of gurus who have fallen from grace. If they are falling down, what class of devotees are they? Third class, obviously. How then can they become gurus? If they really are empowered and authorized by Srila Prabhupada to become his successors in the sacred disciplic succession, why would they fall down in the first place? Some of them have officially fallen down, but many others, although fallen down, are not officially labeled as such because a downfall in ISKCON has somehow only been associated with inappropriate sexual behavior. A downfall from devotional service can mean that an offender ends up either as a sense gratifier and or as an impersonalist. Subhari Muni offended Garuda, the great carrier of Lord Vishnu, and he therefore became a sense gratifier by marrying 50 princesses, even after having been situated on a mature platform of yogic practice. Ramachandra Puri, a disciple of the great Acharya Madhavendra Puri, became a Mayavadi impersonalist by offending his spiritual master. We have to learn from these examples. Both these results are being observed in ISKCON today, but the tendency towards impersonalism is somehow not recognized as a deviation or downfall. Yeah. Moreover, since Srila Prabhupada never gave the authority to anyone to become a Diksha Guru, just by taking up such a position whimsically or by the recommendation of the bewildered GBC, one is already considered to have sown the seed of offense at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, and only time will reveal the fruit, even if it did not by now. We are not praying for such downfalls, but we are stating the natural consequences of offending a pure devotee and the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Yes. It is fruitful to reiterate the quotation from the previous chapter 3.1. Anyone who disobeys the order of the spiritual master immediately becomes useless. Adilila 12.10. Any opinion different from the opinion of the spiritual master is useless. Adilila 12.9 purport. Both factions were asara, or useless, because they had not authority, having disobeyed the order of the spiritual master. Adilila 12.8 purport. Persons who deviate from the strict order of the spiritual master are useless. Adilila 12.10 purport. The following are some of the behavioral regulations for the renounced order that have been transgressed by many of the current so-called gurus, owing to their offenses towards Srila Prabhupada. Padapi yuvatim bhikshur nasprishet daravim api sprishant kariva badhyata karinya angasangataha. A saintly person should never touch a young girl. In fact, he should not even let his foot touch a wooden doll in the shape of a woman. By bodily contact with a woman, he will surely be captured by illusion. just as the elephant is captured by the she-elephant due to his desire to touch her body. Srimad Bhagavatam 11, 12, 13. Strinam nirikshana sparsha samlapa kshvelanadikam pranino mithuni bhutan agrihastho gratas tyajet. Those who are not married, sannyasis, vanaprasthas, and brahmacharis, should never associate with women by glancing, touching, conversing, joking, or sporting. Neither should they ever associate with any living entity engaged in sexual activities. Srimad Bhagavatam 11, 17, 33. Yadi nasam turatiyatay. Okay. Yadi 1, 2. Oh, so Yadina. Okay. Yadina sam Turanti Yatayo Hridikama Jatta Durat Higamo Satam. I don't remember tune, so please kindly bear with me. Durat Higano Satam Hridigato Smritakanta Manhi Asutripa Yoginam Uphayato Vyasukham Bhagavan Anapagatan Takad Anadhirutha Padad Bhavataha. Members of the renounced order who fail to uproot the last traces of material desire in their hearts remain impure, and thus you do not allow them to understand you. Although you are present within their hearts, for them you are like a jewel worn around the neck of a man who has totally forgotten it is there. O Lord, those who practice yoga only for sense gratification must suffer punishment both in this life and the next, from that who will not release them, and from you, whose kingdom they cannot reach. Srimad Bhagavatam 10, 87, 39. By false display of religious sentiments, they present a show of devotional service while indulging in all sorts of immoral activities. In this way, they pass as spiritual master and devotees of God. Such violators of religious principles have no respect for the authoritative acharyas, the holy teachers, and the strict disciplic succession. They ignore the Vedic injunction, Acharya Upasana, one must worship the Acharya, and Krishna's statement in the Bhagavad Gita 4.2, Evam Parampara Praptam, this supreme science of God is received through the disciplic succession. Instead, to mislead the people in general, they themselves become so-called acharyas, but they do not even follow the principles of the acharyas. These rogues are the most dangerous elements in human society. Because there is no religious government, they escape punishment by the law of the state. They cannot, however, escape the law of the Supreme, who has clearly declared in the Bhagavad Gita that envious demons in the grab of religion's propagandists shall be thrown into the darkest regions of hell. Bhagavad Gita 16, 19, and 20. Sri Ishopanishad confirms that these pseudo-religionists are heading toward the most obnoxious place in the universe after the completion of their spiritual master business, which they conduct simply for sense gratification. Sri Ishopanishad Mantra 12 purport. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidhim Vina Aikantiki Harer Bhaktir Utpatayaiva Kalpate. Devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, Narada Pancharatra, etc. is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. What will eventually be the fate of those who follow such offenders? Tesham kupatha destrinam patatam kamasi hyadha yashradadha yurvachaste vai majantyasma plava iva. Leaders who have fallen into ignorance and who misled people by directing them to the path of destruction, as described in the previous verse, are in effect boarding a stone boat, and so too are those who blindly follow them. A stone boat would be unable to float and would sink in the water with its passengers. Similarly, those who mislead people go to hell, and their followers go with them. Srimad Bhagavatam 6:7-14.
Haribol. Yes, Prabhu, this chapter was full of amazing verses about...
What was the title again?
Position of deviants.
Oh, yeah, the position of deviants, yes.
Yes, there was, this was funny. There was 5 times in a row, like useless, useless, useless.
Yeah, you can just copy and paste the whole chapter
Yeah.
when you argue with somebody.
Yet I don't understand that Jakub Prabhu said, "Oh, I've read half of it," and I don't know how, because there was just direct answers to his things.
No,
over again.
I don't believe he read it.
Yes, Prabhu.
Maybe he tried. Like I remember one devotee was arguing in Tatvait Prabhu's class about reading. I am sure you remember. He said, I watched the whole Ritvik playlist, which is 15 hours long.
Yeah.
So, and still I don't believe it. and I said, come on, you watched the whole thing and you didn't understand anything? Oh, Krishna.
Yeah.
Tatvait Prabhu said, yes, exactly. I mean, if you didn't understand, nothing can help you.
Yes, 15 hours he watched references after references, and still he couldn't
No. Yes. I mean, yes, to watch the whole thing and to say that you don't agree with that. I mean, if you don't agree with that, you would stop watching right in the beginning, maybe after 15 minutes.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. 15 hours,
Okay.
that's, trying to stay tough and not accepting and keep watching.
Yes, that's ridiculous.
Could you
Okay.
watch now a 15 hours video of Guru System? Like, you sit down and if you know it's not right, how could you watch it? Yeah, that's true.
Okay, maybe he wanted to figure out whether it's right or wrong, but if he understood that is wrong, why you kept watching?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Okay, Haribol, let's read 6 Astakam prayers. Cheto darpanam pavamahadavagni nirvapanam shreyah kairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamritasvadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
नाम्नामकारि बहुतानि च सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवान् ममापि दुर्दैवमिदृशां भाजनिनानुरागा
Rinadapi Sunichana Taraurapi Sahishnana Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sada Harihim.
Nadanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishvare bhavatad bhaktirahai tukit vai.
अयि नन्दतनुज किङ्करं पतितां मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव वादपङ्कज स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय
Nainam Galadashudharaya Vadanam Gadgadarudhaya Gira Polaikai Rnichitam Vapuhu Kada Tavanam Grahani Bhavishyati.
Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravirshyaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahe name.
आश्रित्सेवापादरदां नष्टुमां दर्शनामर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तदा वा विदधातु लम्बटु मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः
Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy name, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love, flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separations, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Haribo, Sri Siksastakam ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Panchatattva ki jai, Sri Krishna Mahaprabhu ki jai, Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Jagat Guru Shri Bhakti Swami Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari
Hari Hari Bo Hari